I got there, it's almost like I landed at a doorstep, and I literally see it's like they're gates, or it's a gate. It's a door. It's a door. It's not a gate. It's a door. It's a wooden door, and it has like a little window cut out, but the metal hinge is gold, and it's so like articulate designs are carved into the door, and it's
what
like,
designs?
It's almost like little like flowers, like almost, you know those pictures that you color that have all these different designs and stuff, and you sit there and use it. It was like that, but it was in the door itself. Like the patterns, I don't know how to, like, they continued throughout the door, but they continued in a different ways. So it looked like a different picture from behind. If you stood far back, it was a different picture, like a bigger picture. But if you came close, you can see all the little articulate carves in the door frame itself. And then, so you have the door, the wooden door, and then it's like bricks, like not bricks, but like rocks, just like boulders, just piled on top of each other, making a cement wall. And then you have the wooden door, and then on the other side it's the same. It's a wall of boulders and build it up. So then you asked me to go inside, so I opened the door. And I stood there, like literally on the entry point, and I just look up at the door frame, and I'm thinking like, this door, like it was at least from the floor to the ceiling, like that tall. And I'm just thinking like, a giant has to walk through this. And I've seen angels 8 feet tall at my house when I'm praying in tongues.
But not that big.
Well, yeah, like seriously huge. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these things are huge. So I opened the door, or maybe it's just because I was a child, spiritually a child, you know, but anyways, it was huge. It looked huge. So I opened the door, and I come into this hallway, and the hallway, I want to say it was made by like cobblestones, but then at the end of the hallway, it was so bright that it shined through the hallway itself. There are pillars on each side, and then there was a row of flowers that were purple and white, and in the middle was pink. And they were just like just lined up. But then on the other side, it wasn't very depth. Like the flowers only went this depth for width, but then it was like it filled up the whole length of the hallway all the way down. And then on the other side of the flowers was the pillars that stood up. And I didn't really look into what was beyond the pillars because, well, I didn't care. So
Did you try one of the flowers?
Yes.
How did you actually ate a little bit?
I did. I was very hesitant. I'm not gonna lie. So I ate the flowers, and all I could think of was it tasted like peppermint. Peppermint. I was like, this is weird. Like, why am I tasting peppermint from a flower? Like, this is just weird. So I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So I just put the flowers back. I was like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. So, and then you asked me, you said, can you go ahead and go forward? And I was like I was ready. I was like, yeah, like, let's do this. Like, I'm ready. Like, I was almost in sprint mode. Like, let's just go. Like, so we rush over to the bright light at the bottom of the steps. And I just remember looking up and seeing nothing but like just clouds formed around the staircase, and it just kind of wrapped around, and then all of a sudden there was like an empty space of just blueness, and you could see these angels that were just, it was almost weird, like they were doing a dance, and they were just gliding and swirling and just, but then one had a harp in the hand, and another one had a trumpet, and they were just dancing to like the music in heaven, like the melody, which I wasn't really focusing on the melody, but you can just see them dancing. It was just like it was just so graceful and elegant, just moving with the flow of the, I don't know, I don't want to say wind, because there was no wind. There was no wind. It was just dancing. And so, meanwhile, we're standing at the bottom of the steps, and I'm just like,
do you see Abba?
I did see Abba.
Was he sitting down, or was he standing up?
He was sitting on a chair, on a throne, on a seat. He was sitting there, but he was by a desk. Like, he was sitting at a table. And he had piles of paper. It was almost like scrolls of paper that were just piling up. And it's like it never ended. It just kept multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And I'm just like, but I knew which paper was mine, which one was directed to me. So, and it wasn't just stuff about me. It was stuff that I've completed, like tasks that I've completed.
Wow.
So, and it was stuff that I did in the like.
In the earthly realm.
Yes, it was stuff that I did in the earthly realm that I completed, but it was more based on my spirit, like becoming born again, receiving the Holy Spirit, baptized by the Holy Spirit, stuff that and like I said, some of them were marked off. Some of them were already checked off. Some of them, though, weren't. And the ones that weren't were more towards the
end?
The end, yeah, because I remember I had to lift it up because it was just laying on the floor. I was like, Lord, like I had to lift it up to look and see. But yeah, so he was just sitting at
What did he tell you when you first met him? Did you feel a lot of love up there?
Oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. I felt so much love. I felt so much completeness, if that makes sense. I just felt like belongingness, and there was nothing I could do.
Did you get to meet a dove?
A dove, oh my goodness, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. This dove.
Tell us about the dove.
Came flying out of nowhere, and it sat there, and it was singing to me, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, is it singing to me, or is it singing to someone else? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I think it's singing directly to me. So I put my hand out, and it sat on the palm of my hand, and as I'm looking at it, it's like twirling, like it's singing to me, and all I could think of was like, Lord, what is it saying? Because all it's doing is just swirling. And then you said, ask what it's saying. And that's when I heard the spiritual song that was coming from the dove. And I was like, okay, Lord, like, that is beautiful. Like, thank you for this gift. Because it was well needed.
And did he give you a kiss too, the dove?
Oh my goodness, yes. And it was so weird because it was prickly. Like it was like a gentle poke. Like it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so weird. Like the beak is poking me. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, well, maybe one more time. So then he went and did it again. But needless to say.
And did an angel bring you a gift?
Yes, I think a big bowl of Jello, a jelly thing. I don't know. It kept moving when he walked. It was shaking. So I went ahead and I did. But the thing is, it was easy to scoop. Like whatever it was easy to scoop in my hands. So I scooped it in my hands, and then I started slurping it because I didn't have like fork or anything. So I'm like, I'm just gonna slurp this. So I started slurping it. And it was delicious. I don't even know what it was. It was like the best tasting thing I've ever tasted in my life. Like, you don't understand. Like, it's better than any dish ever created on earth. Like, it is absolutely amazing. Like, the best thing that someone could bake or mold or shape. Times that by 500. Like, times it by 500. Like, you would like, it almost became like a need. Like, Lord, I need some more of this right now. Like, it was that, like, miraculous. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
And did the angel give you a box or something?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. This, I couldn't help but to think, like, oh, my gosh, like, talk about gifts over the top. He brought me a crown, and at first I thought the box looked sealed at first. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, can I open this box? You know, it's a gift for me. So then he brings it in front of my face, and I see where the top's already off. It was a pink box. So I look into it, and it's a crown made out of gold, and it had rubies and diamonds and sapphires. And it was just, I mean, when I say, like, they were extravagant, so extravagant, and the diamonds were small, but the rubies were huge. I mean, I could not imagine, like, the Lord creating this for me. It was just so perfect, and it was exactly what I would have made. Like, he knew me to a T. Like, it was mine. I created it. It was like, Lord, you knew me. It was perfect. So I remember grabbing it out of the box and just thinking, like, this is wonderful. Like, thank you so much. There's so much appreciation. And so I put it on, and I remember being like, this is too big. Like, my head is so small, and I remember it kind of like teeter-tottering, like, as I tried to, like, move. So I remember I had to hold it to the side. Like, I had to keep my hands there, because if I didn't, then it would teeter-totter to one side or the other. And I didn't like that feeling. I was like, Lord, I need to keep this straight. So,
You didn't want to come back to earth, did you?
oh, absolutely not. Are you kidding me? Come on. Like, no, I would not. In a million years, I would stay up, and I have children. I have 6 kids of my own. I'm married.
Beautiful.
And as much as I love my children, as much as I love my family, and I know this is hard to say, but I would not come back here for my children.
That's
I would
amazing.
not come back
Did you
here
hear what you
for
just
my
said?
husband. I would not come back here in a million years for any of them. Not because they're not deserving, not
That's
because I don't love them. It's not because I
significant.
don't want them. It's just because there's so much more where heaven is. There's so much more. I don't even know how to explain it. Like bliss, joy, peace,
love,
security. Happiness, yes, security, completeness. I mean, absolutely. Affection, yes, absolutely. Affection, genuine kindness, sincere kindness and compassion. Why would I ever want to come back down here? So that's it. I'm just being honest. So
who did all this?
I know, absolutely, Jesus did.
Jesus did.